Hello, and welcome to the very first Equestrian Mums Club podcast. We're really excited to be here and super grateful to anyone who happens to have tuned in to listen. So, first things first, we should tell you who you're listening to. Soph, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, I'll start. I am Sophie. I've got an 11-month-old baby called Olive. I've also got a 17-year-old ex-racehorse called Oscar, who I try and do a bit of eventing on pretty unsuccessfully, to be honest. And it's very low level as well, just FYI. And I live with my partner and my horse and my dog and my baby in Lambourne. We've also got a small livery yard. And I'm also working full-time-ish. And, trying to keep up with everything else in life.
And in case anyone's wondering who the original voice was, I'm Katie, I'm 32. I have got a 12-week-old little boy called Rafe, who was a bit of a shock to us all. And I live with my husband, our 2 dogs, and I have one horse called Leo, who's a 4-year-old, who I bought to be a riding club horse for myself last year. And yeah, we're just sort of fumbling through new parenthood, which is pretty terrifying.
So, Katie, why don't you say why, like, your kind of key things in wanting to do this podcast?
So we've launched this podcast because we're friends first and foremost, but
Sort of,
yeah.
I'm joking.
But
we're work besties.
This is my work wife. But we, having just had kiddies and also having horses ourselves, we see a huge need for a community hub for parents with horses and children. It can be quite isolating having horses at the best of times. And we want to support and encourage new parents from pregnancy to 2 years and beyond, because parenthood isn't easy. Having horses isn't easy, and combine the two, add in work, you've got your relationships, your home responsibilities. It's really not difficult to suddenly feel quite overwhelmed with what you've got on.
Overwhelmed is a very good word.
Yeah.
How I feel on a daily basis.
And having horses is antisocial at the best of times. It's long hours around work, it's financially restrictive. You go to a supermarket and people look at you and avoid you because you smell weird. And it really can be even more isolating once you get pregnant and have children, because your horse's routine changes. Your yard family are out doing other things that you're not anymore. Your dreams, your goals, they change or they adjust. And your finances change as well. So it can be a little bit bleak.
It can be a little bit bleak at times. The reason that I wanted to do it was because I spent pretty much my entire pregnancy Googling how to have a baby and a horse, and how long can you ride for when you're pregnant, and do I need to sell my horse or, probably rehome more likely, and how do people cope? And actually, I didn't find anything that was particularly supportive of what I was hoping to be able to do when I had a baby. And so actually we thought that it would be really nice to be able to listen to like-minded people talk. We are hoping to have an array of different levels of riders on the podcast, people at different stages of their parenthood journey, and dads as well, and also potentially women that haven't had children, so that we can find out why, and if horse ownership was something to do with that. So that's my reasons behind wanting to do this, and hopefully we'll have a laugh with it and enjoy it.
So The Equestrian Mums Club has come into fruition. It has been born just alongside our other children and responsibilities. And we're just hoping that this can be a place where parenthood and horse ownership can be talked about in tandem, and where you can share your successes, your struggles, without judgment, because that's really important to us here as well. What can people expect from this podcast? I mean, so I feel like
Chaos.
I feel like we've already kind of lifted, the lid on it being about horses and humans. But what? How will people know if it's for them?
It's for everybody, because if you have at any point given birth in whichever fashion you may have given birth, FYI, or you have thought about having a baby, or you have got 10-year-olds and it was 10 years ago and you are still trying to negotiate owning a horse, or you're thinking about buying another horse, or you've got a horse and you've got a baby, pretty much anybody out there, we want to talk to you.
And we want to talk to you not from a point of we know it all, because we really totally
that is something that is not true.
But we want to have light-hearted discussions, plenty of laughs. We've all got hundreds of different responsibilities, but we need a giggle, and we need to, we need to feel like we have friends during this mad time. So expect lots of laughs, lots of honesty. There might be a bit of laughing, a bit of crying.
There might be a lot of crying, to be honest.
And there's definitely going to be a good pun, just because I like them and Sophie doesn't.
I dislike them because I get them wrong every time I say a pun. It comes out wrong. For example, yesterday morning I said to my partner that it is, oh wait, I almost forgot it again. What is it? Half of six and one dozen of the other.
None of that.
Six of half. What? 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
There you go.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yay!
For anybody that's listening along to that is definitely the 20th time she's tried. This isn't heavily science-based research discussions on parenting skills. We don't have time for any of that, and we're sure our listeners probably don't either. We don't have all the answers. We're not paediatricians. We're not experts. We're not doctors.
We're certainly not very good riders.
No, we're not. We're really not. But we love
to take it in there.
We really love hearing about other people's opinions and things. So that's why we've started this podcast. We're not here to judge any other behaviour. We're all doing our best with what we have at any given moment. So as long as you're not anti-horse, anti-dog, or anti-child, you're in the right place. So welcome to the Equestrian Mums Club podcast, and we hope that you'll be along for the ride with us.